What is going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another episode of Old School Wednesday. Today we're doing quite the set. We're going back to the adventurer theme, specifically when they went to Egypt, and we're looking at the Sphinx Secret Surprise. That set 5978 had 347 pieces, 7 minifigs, came out in 1998, and it retailed for about 50 US. Nowadays this set's going for 219 new or 91 used. And I have to say, it's one of the best adventurer sets ever. I mean, I really liked it. Awesome looking base plate for you guys that like that. A lot of awesome accessories. It has a ton of minifigs in it as well. Anyways, we're gonna get into it, break it down. I really don't have too much bad to say about this set. I just think it's all in all a really great model. But we're gonna get into exactly why, but enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start this review off, we're actually going to take a look at the box. I was able to get the box off Bricklink. Was so thrilled about that. As you guys can see, great looking model. It just looks so awesome. You know, all the little things that are going on in this model. Pharaoh almost getting Johnny Thunder. As Johnny Thunder nabs the diamond, and then you have the tomb, one of the Pharaoh's minions coming alive. Like, it's just so awesome. And then, you know what? They spare no expense. On the sides, we got artwork as well. There's one really great thing about this box. It's possibly one of the best LEGO boxes they've ever made. As far as the style they used to do in the late 90s, we're gonna get into that. In the back here, we have some alternate builds, so not bad looking. Yeah, some of them are like this one. I don't know what they're thinking. That looks awful. But like, this one's not too bad. You know, I don't mind the one in the far right. And then this one's actually pretty decent, the build they got going on right here. I'm not sure what they're doing with all those maps. Then you also get the artwork on the side. And then on the top, like, there's artwork everywhere. Like, they just put a lot of effort into their boxes, and it really shows. And the back, on the bottom of the box right here, just great looking. But the greatest thing about this box, guys, is when you bought a 90s set back in the day, this is what you got. It opens up. That is fantastic. How do you beat a box like that? It has the hieroglyphics. I'm sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing that, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm actually going to give you guys a little bit of a read up here. It says, ancient ruins are the home of many hidden riches, but beware, where treasure lies, booby traps, villains, and scorpions await. With building sets from the LEGO System Adventure Collection, only you, the LEGO Maniac, can determine who will get to the treasure first. So that is fantastic. I love that they have a little read up. And then the coolest thing about this box is, check this out. Guys, when you bought a set back in the day, it would show pieces under the plastic right here. And let's just, you know, it's an empty box, as you guys can see, but it would actually show some exclusive pieces, minifigs, unique pieces. It was just such an awesome job. Anyways, we spent too long on this box, but you know what? You guys can see why. It doesn't get better than that. Now let's actually take a look, finally, at the model. And what we're actually going to start with is some of the smaller builds that are included in this Sphinx set, just because there is a ton of really good smaller models. A lot of times LEGO doesn't do the greatest job with the smaller models, but they've done with this. So as you guys can see, very awesome looking little car. We got a lot to break down on this little car. So great, first off, drivability. So if you're a kid and you want to play with it, it's great for that. The other cool thing about it too is it has very nice little engines, as you guys can see. And then the other thing that's really cool about these cars, I won't show it just because we've done that on so many other reviews, but it fits 2 minifigs. And what's really cool about it though is it's only a 1x6 area. So that's absolutely awesome. It also has a nice little area to keep the camera. Now, let's actually just break down that camera a little bit for you guys. Love these cameras, but the really cool thing about it is it has a very nice little printed piece. So as you can see the Doctor in the far right, and then Johnny Thunder in the front. And it looks like he's getting into a tomb and whatnot. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. Great job on Lego's part. I love printed pieces. And then what you can see here is he has a lot of little accessories in the back of this. Like there's tons. The other cool thing about this too is you could actually store a map in this little area right there. So great job on Lego's part. In the inside here, you guys can see it has a nice little basically glass canister, and there's a gold coin in there, which is kind of nice. I think that they were thinking of maybe putting the dime in there. And then you also get a number of, like, you know, shovels, axes, maps. We're going to show the maps in another clip. But anyways, great looking little car. Let's now move on to the next small model. And the next small model is actually a cloth tent. So that is just fantastic. Check this thing out. Looks to be like little windows, you know, that can be lifted and closed, which is absolutely awesome. Some nice little patchwork. Just a great looking little, tent. And it's not plastic. This is cloth. This is actually a somewhat rare piece. I don't believe I've seen this in any other set. I think it is unique to this model. And then the inside, there's nothing too crazy. I mean, you can set minifigs in there just to give you guys an idea of how big this little tent is. This is a minifig. This is the tent. You can very easily put them in there. And you can fit a number of minifigs in this little tent. My one fault with it, which is a small fault, is I wish it had a little bit more of an interior. Like I wish there was like little items in there. But you know what? That actually brings us to our next area. You could actually throw this in there if you really wanted to. It's like a little microscope, which is actually pretty cool. What's also really cool about these little microscope pieces, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or not. If you're not, they actually work. So that is honestly cute. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Anyways, I love these little builds. Oh, and then there's one more, which we'll actually just show right now on camera. A nice little fireplace for the minifig, to cook some grub. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. There's a little yellow piece in there, I think, to represent eggs or whatnot. And yeah, just great job on Lego's part. I mean, it's not the most technical build, but they do a good job. And then the last smaller little build, it's not quite a build, but it's basically like an accessory that's included. There's just so many, is another tomb, which is absolutely awesome. It's black, unlike the one that was included in the Temple of Anubis. This one's black, whereas the one in that one, I believe you get a gray one and you get a colorful one as well. And then when you open it up, bam, there's one of Pharaoh Hotep's minions. He's just waiting there with a nice gold wine glass. Maybe it's the Holy Grail. Most likely not, but you know what? That's what's great about the adventure theme, is you can just kind of play around with it. But now let's get into the meat. And here she is. So we'll actually just show first off that this tower that's going on here, small tower, just because it doesn't quite fit in the screen, just because it is so tall, but the rest of the model does. So now what we're going to do is give you guys a 360 view of this bad boy. It is a great set. Check out this base plate. I believe this base plate was also used in the Paradise Poolside set from the Paradisia theme, but it works really, really well on this model as the Dr. Charles Lightning gets nailed by the set. Anyways, great looking model. As you can see, although it's from the 90s, it still gets the job done. It's not that clumpy. Anyways, let's now break this model down section by section. And the first area I thought we could take a look at is actually just this tower right here. So I'm actually just going to take it off and show you guys. So these are all printed pieces. There's no stickers on this whatsoever. And what's kind of cool about it, it's not quite a play feature, but you can make it slam down. And then in the inside right here, there's some very nice, beautiful gold coins. Now, I'm going to show these off on camera a little bit. They are a little tricky to get out. But they're not the ones that we get nowadays. These ones are literally gold chrome pieces, and I really hope LEGO goes back to it. I just got the Barracuda base set, and unfortunately, it doesn't give you any of these pieces. So LEGO has reverted to these gold studs. I really hope that LEGO comes back to the normal gold chrome pieces we got in the past. The other cool area that I wanted to show off before we get into the main center of the build is this area right here. So you can literally just take this slab of rock off, and what it shows off is there's a nice little map in there. There's actually another little gold coin in here as well, along with a snake. So very, very nice on LEGO's part. The other thing before we get into the main meat of the set is it has these, if you guys know anything about ancient Egypt, they always had these characters here. They almost look kind of like dogs or cats, but they weren't, and they had a man's body. And you have them here again, which is actually kind of cool. They are actually around in the Temple of Anubis model as well. But then the really cool thing about this set, as you guys can see, there's the Sphinx. So just show this guy off a little bit more to you guys, just because they did a really good job on this. Although it is dated, it is a little bricky, it gets the job done, and it just looks really, really good. But you see this little lever right here? All right, well, let's show you guys how that kind of works. So let's say Johnny Thunder is sneaking up on the diamond. Oh, another little area I want to mention before we get into that. You notice what it says here? It says if you knock on the door, the Pharaoh's going to come out and he's going to turn you into a dead skeleton. Well, does that really happen? Well, if you pull this lever, let's say Johnny Thunder's about to get the diamond. He's sneaking up on it. Does it work? Well, let's push that lever out. And there he is. So I thought that was such a cool feature. Great job on LEGO's part. Works 100% of the time. And it's literally just the Pharaoh. It's kind of hard to get out. Pharaoh on this little seat. And then just to show you guys the interior, just so you guys can see. One thing I didn't like is I could maybe have a wall on the back of this so you don't see the, right through the model. But, it's not a big deal. We're getting really picky. Anyways, great looking model on LEGO's part. I really do like it. Love the base plate. Love the Sphinx. Love the features to it as well. Let's now get into the minifigs. But before we do that, there's one last area we should show some love to. And that is these awesome looking palm trees. They do move around, which is actually pretty awesome as well. And they really give that Egyptian adventure desert type feel. Anyways, that's the set itself. Let's now take a look at those minifigs. And the first three minifigs I thought we could take a look at is literally the three heroes or good guys. So on the far left, we have Johnny Thunder. Then in the middle, we have Gale Storm. And then on the far right, we got Dr. Charles Lightning. So great looking minifigs. I really do like them. They are from a simpler time. But you know what? They get the job done. They look good. They got their adventure style hats. Except for Johnny Thunder, he has this awesome looking kind of like cowboy hat. Great looking torso we've all probably seen. Has a nice little pistol in his holster. Or it looks to be just in his belt. And then Gale Storm, she has a nice little camera. And then Dr. Charles Lightning has those beautiful looking suspenders and bow tie. Quite a dressy guy. But the cool thing I wanted to mention about this Charles Lightning is these awesome looking backpacks. Check these things out. And what's really cool about them is you can actually open them up. And you can actually fit things in them. So it actually fits quite a bit. I'm going to actually just pull this minifig off so you guys can get a better look of what's included. It actually can hold a little dynamite. So I thought that was awesome. You can either put diamonds, whatever you want in here, you can kind of do. The other thing I thought I'd show you guys is the maps. This set includes every single map that's included in the adventure, Egypt adventure theme. So very nice looking printed pieces. None of these again are stickers, and I'm not sure why all the maps were included in this model, but I'm not complaining. I think that's absolutely awesome. But now let's take a look at the two villains that are included in this model. Here they are. So on the far left, we have Baron von Baron. And then on the far right, we have Lord Sam Sinister. So he's actually he's only ever shown in this Egyptian line. He's not shown in any of the other adventure themes. But yeah, great looking minifigs. Let's just give you guys a 360 view of them. Now again, these minifigs have no back torso printing, back face printing. They get none of that. They have some very nice looking torso printing. This guy looks to almost be wearing a tuxedo. And then on the left, this almost looks like the bad version of Johnny Thunder, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he has a scar, a spyglass, he has a hook. Maybe his ancestor was a pirate, from the way he likes to live his life as well. And yeah, just all in all, nice looking minifigs. They're simple, but they get the job done. I also like the glasses on this guy and how big it makes his eyes. But anyways, those are the two villains. Let's now take a look at Pharaoh Hotep and one of his minions. And here they are. So I'll just give you guys a 360 view of these two minifigs. So the first thing I wanted to mention, which is kind of cool, is Pharaoh's minions. They actually bothered to give him, he might have been a pharaoh himself back in the day, because he has, the very majestical headpiece. But anyways, regardless, let's just say he's one of his minions. It is one of the flimsy type skeletons as well, which I actually prefer. I like them more than the modern day skeletons. I just think they're a little bit more fun. And then on the far left, we have Pharaoh Hotep himself. So this is a very detailed minifig for the 90s. I mean, he has leg printing, feet printing, torso printing. His headgear even has some printing on it. Nice looking face. He's not actually a bad guy if you look into the lore. He's just protecting the diamonds. But I'd actually recommend you guys do that, just because the adventure line as far as the lore goes is absolutely fantastic. There is no back torso printing or back torso printing, back face printing on Pharaoh Hotep, but he still is a very detailed minifig, and he's almost passable for what we expect nowadays. Anyways, those are the minifigs. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well, guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, looking at this model, the model's great. The Sphinx is awesome, especially for its age. The amount of accessories they have in this set is ridiculous, like smaller builds. And a lot of times the smaller builds are not that great. In this one, every single smaller build knocks it out of the park. From the tent to the car to the, I guess you could consider the tomb, the black one, to the little microscope, to the area where they have a cooking area with the cooking pot. It's just a phenomenal model. I think it's honestly like at least a 9.5 out of 10. I have a really hard time faulting this. I mean, some of the stuff looks a little bit blocky, but you have to consider this was back in the late 90s, and it still gets the job done really well. But let me know what you guys think about this model, if I'm possibly overrating it, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it, if you possibly own it. I just think it's a really well done model, and it's what you want from an adventure set, and it's what I hope LEGO starts to implement a little bit more. I see it in Barracuda Bay, but we could see it in a lot more sets, in my opinion. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future old new sets that we do in this channel. We do them about every Wednesday, and I love doing them. This is exactly why I love doing them. Just they're such great sets that we got in the past. But anyways, again, that's all I got for you. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.